What's going on, Joe?
Good evening. Good evening. We're back once again with the Monday night news.
I'm excited to get right down to it. We had a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend and lots of stuff come down and opened up the floodgates for what's been a very interesting news day today.
Absolutely, I can't get. I'm ready for the news. I'm ready to attack it today.
I'm sure you are, and we've got plenty of stuff for you to attack. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Virtual currency mixer Tornado Cash is no longer welcome in the United States after authorities say the service was used to launder over $7 billion to sanctioned nations. The U.S. Treasury Department officially sanctioned Mixer today on the grounds that the group's privacy protocol was used to launder money from various cryptocurrency attacks. Officials from the Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, accused Tornado Cash of aiding in the heist of $455 million from Axie Infinity by North Korea's Lazarus Group, as well as the more recent thefts from Harmony Bridge and Nomad. Tornado Cash was designed as a privacy tool, allowing users to obfuscate their transactions through a cycle of anonymous transfers before delivering them to the final wallet address. Under the sanctions, all transactions originating from the U.S. now must be blocked on the service, while anyone involved in the group within the states must forfeit their properties and interest to OFAC. Tornado Cash will join current currency mixer Blender.io on the sanctions list. So it's very interesting, David. The OFAC is now saying that they know how Lazarus and other groups are getting away with it, and it's through mixers that could potentially obfuscate where those funds are going at the end of the day.
So I was reading stuff. I was reading about this topic today on social media, and people that are bitter rivals are all coming together and actually agreeing on this topic, which is, you know, for me, I was blown away. I would have thought
Okay.
it was going to still be the narrative of we need to go ahead and be separate kind of thing that's been happening lately, as of late. But is this the beginning of? Is this the first shot by the government? To go ahead and say, look, we're going to start, really coming in here and forcing you guys to not. I, there's anger right now within me. It's boiling. Look, I get it. There are people that will take and do nasty things here and try to use tornado cash to go ahead and, you know, wipe their trails and stuff. But this is just wrong, man. Like, this is wrong on so many levels. And it would probably take an hour episode for me to explain why and really break it down. But this is I believe I think his name is Adams, and I think he's from Bankless. I think he said it best in his tweet. I'm trying to find it, but this is their first shot. This is the first shot that they fired at, the crypto industry, and I believe so.
I don't disagree with that statement, but I also understand the need to prevent completely anonymous transactions, especially in cases like this. What's to prevent terrorist organizations or others bent on doing harm to the United States and our allies to obfuscate their funding and where they're getting money from and who they're sending it to using mixers like this? Cryptocurrency in general is already pseudonymous. There's already inherently more privacy in using it. Do we really need a service like Tornado Cash to make it even to obfuscate it even further and create even more derision in it? I don't know that those services are necessary given the inherent value proposition of cryptocurrency as a whole.
I've never used it, so from one side, I personally don't need it because I'll KYC. I don't really care. Look,
Sure.
I'm doxxed. Everybody knows who I am, so it's not like I'm hiding behind an avatar. Um, I don't even know why you would use the service in general. Like I keep sitting back, and I've been sitting back today to try to figure it out. Like, why would you use the service in general? So from one standpoint, okay, I understand. I also though feel like it's a shot at the industry though at the same time. And I'm kind of conflicted. I'm really conflicted. I think KYC is fine. I think AML is fine. I think 8300 forms are fine. I mean, it's not it's people might say that, hey Dave, you're talking about control. No, it's not control. It's just You mentioned it earlier, like somebody trying to do perform terroristic activities. I mean, like you think that's cool until it happens,
Right.
and it's not cool because we saw what happened, you know, years ago, and that wasn't fun. So, and I would not like to see that happen anywhere ever again. Um, but I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted in terms of okay, they take this step here. Where are they going next? Kind of thing. It's one of those kind of things that I'm sitting back today and I'm thinking about and saying, okay, on this side, but what about this side? Where are they going next? 87,000 brand new IRS agents hired. Like, what is really happening here? So, yeah, I'm a little bit, Joe. I'm a little bit conflicted on this topic, honestly speaking.
I understand the argument going back to Ben Franklin's famous quote: "Those who would give up liberty for a little bit of security deserve neither liberty nor security."
Yeah,
I understand that argument and I respect it, but we already have so much liberty, more liberty than ever before, allowed through cryptocurrency transactions. I don't know that we need to, again, we don't that we need to make it even crazier as a result. And to your point, I agree that this is a shot. Things regulation is coming. The best we can hope for is that that the regulation is responsible, that it is fair to the consumer, which it rarely is, and that it allows for an open marketplace with rules to protect consumers and their money in as they drive into this brave new world. Yes, regulation is coming. We've said it before. We've said it a million times. We'll say it again. And all we can do now is wait and see, and I guess hold on for dear life.
Joe. But who does regulation really help? Like that's my biggest question that I ask in spaces, I ask on my podcast, I ask, people in general. Like who is it really helping? Like who at the end of the day, like, can we be honest, who does it help us? Because I don't believe so. I know who it helps. It's the 1%. And like aren't we trying to escape from the clause of the 1% that, you know, put us in this program in the first place, and like we're trying to build something to fix the monetary system. I at, at times I sit back and I'm a bit, I'm not lost, I'm not confused, but I scratch my head at some of the things that are happening.
Well, regulation also, you can't make that our 1% argument without also saying regulation benefits the government first and foremost before it benefits the people. Those two things go hand in hand, and one can make the argument that the 1% owns our government. But that's a conversation for a completely different time.
Correct.
And I agree with you. That is an hour-long episode in of itself that
Yeah.
we could debate all night long. Like I said, the best we can do now is hold on. Buy, without giving financial advice, buy what you are confident in, buy what you believe in, and hold on, and react accordingly. Be prepared to react accordingly.
I'll say the last thing on this topic. If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be worried about KYC, AMLs, and all that stuff that comes along with. Look, you do it on a daily basis. I mean, it's okay for me. Like, I don't find a problem with it. If you're hiding something, that's a different story. I mean, then you're really, really super upset today. I'm upset or I'm triggered for different reasons.
All reasons I'm sure we will hear in the breakdown tomorrow morning, or some of them, anyways.
Absolutely.
The Bitcoin blockchain now has a new stablecoin on Lightning Network being described as a, quote, Bitcoin-backed synthetic dollar. Galloway announced the launch of StableSats, a new coin pegged to the dollar and backed by actual Bitcoin holdings. The coin will roll out with the launch of the Bitcoin Beach Wallet, currently in the beta testing phase, and will allow users to either send Bitcoin or an equivalent of Bitcoin based on the current price in US dollars. The company says the new technology will allow users to more freely adopt crypto into their everyday lives in places like El Salvador, where it is accepted as legal tender for purchase. Galloway touts the solution as a better option than traditional stablecoins, as trust is held within the exchange and results in the lowest possible fees for transacting on the Lightning Network. This is kind of new and original, but is it necessary? A stablecoin on Bitcoin?
No. Plain no. I don't know why we keep building on top of Bitcoin. Like, can we focus on the task at hand? Like, This has been my argument for the like this entire weekend. Joe, I went into a room, I got slaughtered. Not slaughtered in a way where I couldn't answer a question. I just couldn't ask a question or answer it because I wasn't allowed to. It was a Bitcoin Maxi toxicity room.
Ah, yes.
And like, why do you need to build on top of, why do you have to continue to build on top of Bitcoin? Can we can we continue on Bitcoin's path, which is a good one. It's not a bad one, and that is, financial freedom. Owning your own money. It is sound money. I do agree with that. It is sound money. Let's continue on that path. We keep building on it. We keep building on the side of it. Like it is it is frustrating. That's all I can say on this. It is frustrating. We don't need one. We have USDT, we have USDC, we have plenty of things that look, especially USDT. It's done a great job. Keep working on that. Keep working on Bitcoin. Keep working with Bitcoin in terms of opening up the gates for others so they can have freedom. Stop with building everything on Bitcoin. Though, though, as somebody told me, I shouldn't go ahead and say don't do anything. We have freedom in the space to do whatever we want. I would just like it if we our focus would be elsewhere.
I don't disagree with that idea, and I agree with you that this is unnecessary. It is. I feel like it's more of a stunt to get people more interested in using Bitcoin. But right now, I'm not using Bitcoin for anything. I'm using it as a option, as an alternative asset class to benefit my portfolio. And in the spirit of full transparency, I am long on Bitcoin right now on the stuff in stuff that I am mining and holding. If anything, I think if you want to build on Bitcoin, build DeFi options that allow people to grow their own wealth and manifest their own destiny. You now have an opportunity. You have the first time in history, you have the first opportunity to build wealth independently of a system that controls how and where you use your money. If we're smart, if we are looking towards the future, I'm telling people Bitcoin Maxi all day long, but give me utility on it that I can build upon and I can grow wealth upon, so that I now have generational wealth to pass down thanks to being on the forefront of this revolution.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, to me, it just focused. We need to focus on the goal. It's like annoying already. Just focus on Joe. I'm just frustrated because 3 days, 3 days of saying, Bitcoin is sound money, and it is giving a lot of people freedom, and we need to stop. People, you know, Maxios will say that NFTs are worthless, but in the same breath say let's build NFTs on top of it. Let's build a stable coin on top. Why? 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 I get it, Joe. You made a good point to entice people in. It's a stunt. Entice people in. See how look at our network. Look how it works. We don't need that. And nobody's honestly nobody. I don't want to say nobody, but I'm going to say this: when you have experts, which I don't believe we have experts in the space at all, but when you have experts, so-called experts, saying that this will hit $500,000, $600,000, $1 million, nobody's going to use it. People are going to hold it, especially in the United States of America, because people are a little bit more privileged and have the ability to hold because we have other things that we can use. Nigeria, not so much. They really go ahead and use Bitcoin on a daily basis. But again, Joe, I honestly feel that we need to, we lose focus when we try to build too much on Bitcoin when the real goal, has already been set forth.
Absolutely, can't argue that point whatsoever. Speaking of building and not building, former Celsius chief financial officer Rod Bolger will not accept a consulting gig, will not keep a consulting gig, I should say, with the insolvent exchange, leaving a monthly salary of nearly $100,000 on the table. The company announced today they will no longer keep the embattled executive on board as an advisor, hours before the issue was to be heard by a bankruptcy court. Bolger resigned on June 30th after the centralized exchange froze all withdrawals from their platform. In the role, he was earning around $750,000 per year. Prior to his 5 month stint with Celsius, he was the chief financial officer at Royal Bank of Canada. Celsius did not provide a reason for their change of mind and have not publicly commented on going in a new direction. I feel like they saw the writing on the wall. They knew that this deal was not going to get approved by the bankruptcy courts, and this is the best way for everybody to save face. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't even know why they would even attempt to hire him back. It is this is insanity. And if anybody ever attempts to go back into Celsius, I mean, uh, I did you not read his report? Are we just just not looking at his past? Are we just saying we're gonna give a man a second chance on shit that is crazy? Like, I've read the reports. It's crazy what happened in his previous life, I should say. And this is a man who you want to go ahead and have as this CFO and pay him 95,000 or whatever, $92,000 a month. This is insanity, insanity, insanity.
I feel like for 92,000 a month, you and I could arguably do a better job of bringing Celsius out than Mr. Bolger did. But that being said, I'm all for second chances. I'm all for being able to redeem yourself and have that redemption arc. The problem, though, is past performance predicts future return. If you do not have that past performance, you do not have that exemplary proven track record, it's not going to help drive you. It's not going to drive you forward, and it's only going to end in heartbreak for everybody involved. I think this is the only move they could have done to save face before the bankruptcy court would have denied it. And hopefully, Mr. Bolger, if he doesn't go into retirement or take his money to the Cayman Islands, he'll hopefully, be able to take some time, reflect, and find a way to redeem himself one last time. I don't know. I can't speak for the man, but happy trails.
Happy trails indeed. I believe in second chances, not in those chances though.
Well, it's one of those things. Shame me once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, we're gonna come get you.
I'll go with that, Joe. I'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
I'll go with that.
Crypto.com is once again expanding, this time landing in South Korea. The Singapore-based exchange announced that they acquired two different companies in the northern Asian state, a payment service provider and a virtual asset provider. In a statement, leaders for the company said they would work with the nation's authorities to bring in their line of products and services to South Korea as a virtual asset service provider. There's no word when Crypto.com would launch in the new nation or if the two acquisitions technologies would serve as the baseboard for the new venture. Terms of the two deals were not disclosed. Interesting move by Crypto.com, especially after they just got done announcing a round of layoffs in what has become the crypto winter, where a lot of talent is getting frozen out. Is the company actually right sizing, or were they just bloated on staff?
I mean, I kind of thought about this. So I felt like Crypto.com was one of these companies that was hanging by a thread. I thought they would come out, and I wouldn't be shocked, but I thought they were going to be one of the companies that come out and say, like, look, we have no more money. We're going to need somebody to bail us out. I really thought that, because I thought they really overspent on their marketing. And I liked what they were doing. I liked the Staples Center, the former Staples Center being renamed to Crypto.com. I like the contract that they signed with the UFC, among other things, appearing during the Stanley Cup Finals and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I think, but that's a lot of money. You're putting a lot of money in. And I really did, again, think they were hanging on by a thread. But then I see this and I'm like, well, hold on. Maybe they do have money. Or maybe it's the market. The market's obviously been a little bit more bullish as of late. And maybe, just maybe, their assets are coming back, or the balance sheet is becoming a little more healthy. But I think it's a good deal. I think it's a really good deal to expand the entire brand. I feel if there's two brands to watch, it's Coinbase and it's Crypto.com, along with Binance. Those three for me are the ones, people might get mad at me if I don't mention FTX. But I think FTX is in its own realm.
Sure.
But those three are, those are the exchanges that you have to watch. And them signing in South Korea, I mean, that's a hell of a. To me, it's a beautiful thing. It expands crypto, brings everybody more so together.
It does expand crypto. It does bring people together. And you're absolutely right. The company prior to the downturn was absolutely flooding the airwaves with advertising. I think the thing that comes to mind for me is the big Super Bowl ad they did with LeBron James. You
Yeah.
know, that had to cost them quite a bit. And I guarantee
How much did Matt Damon cost them?
that, excellent question. I guarantee you they didn't pay them an MCO.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
guarantee you they did not accept their payment in MCO coin,
Yeah.
although I'm sure it was offered.
Yeah.
I do not. I don't think that they're bloated, but I think that all these companies are going to start using the crypto winter, as a reason to get rid of staff in order to fund other parts of their company and fuel other parts of their growth. Is it fair to the staff? Who's to say? But it does ask the question: who do you truly trust your money with at the end of the day? And you and I have said a million times, David, not your keys, not your
Not your
crypto.
crypto. There you go. It's not your keys, not your crypto. Period. Said and done. What you need to do is you get yourself a ledger.
Oh, like
There
this
we.
one.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. I think we got the same ones.
we do. Yeah, yeah, NanoX.
And you store most of your assets in there, and you can leave some out there if you're a trader. I'm not. I DCA. That's how I go about things. But in general, I think that's probably the safest way. But you know what? Um, I really shout outs to CZ. Like I do tell people, don't keep your shit on anybody's platform. But if there's one person I do trust, I hope this doesn't. I hope this doesn't hit me in my ass a year from now. But if there's one exchange that I do trust, it is Binance. I really do trust that he has things in place, and I trust his entire motto of your funds are safe on our side. So um, uh, I'm not advocating for anybody to leave their stuff on there, but I wouldn't be worried if it was on there. How about that?
Uh, it's very difficult to say, and I think again, right now, every investor has to kind of figure out who they trust their money. Who do they trust? Where do they trust placing that money? And more importantly, when push comes to shove, where with all the staking options, with all the other places to gain net yield off their cryptocurrency, the question is, where do you, at the end of the day, who do you trust to keep that money safe and secure and be able to access it on your terms, not theirs? As we've seen several times over with Celsius, with Voyager, with others. If you don't have control of it, if it's not on your ledger, is it truly yours to begin with? No, you're just handing it to a bank under a different name, one with fewer guarantees and fewer safety nets than a traditional bank. So really, at this point, without giving financial advice, everybody has to kind of make that reconciliation with themselves. Who do I, if everything takes a downturn once again, who am I going to trust? I like what you say about CZ. I like his investment in people during this time, and the fact that he's trying to scoop up as many people that got laid off. I think it speaks well to his platform and what direction they can go in and what they're going to do. But everyone's got to make that decision for themselves, David.
I agree with you 100%. Like I can't disagree. My only point is, like, if you go leave it somewhere, because most people are just way too lazy to put it on a cold wallet or get it off an exchange, then I guess you would leave it with Binance. At the end of the day, but again, not your keys, not your crypto. Just remember that tomorrow morning, CZ can go ahead and post a tweet and say, "Hey guys, we're out of business," and that means that you're out of business as well.
Banks closed, and good luck to everybody. Always a threat right now.
For sure.
Finally, tonight, Bitcoin is now more accessible than ever in the real world thanks to the expanding role of Bitcoin ATM machines. A new report by CoinATMRadar.com shows over 39,000 machines exist around the world today, present in 77 countries and operated by 614 providers. Bitcoin ATMs work just like other teller machines, allowing users to deposit fiat and receive cryptocurrency in exchange, or withdraw their crypto from their digital wallet and receive cash, obviously for a fee. These machines are mostly relevant here in the United States, where they have a nearly 88% are deployed across the country. Canada has a 6.3 share of the marketplace, while Europe only has a 3.8% of deployment across the country. As we just talked about, it's great to see Bitcoin having a physical presence, but I'm not sure, as much as these are great and gives people time to think about Bitcoin, I don't know that they're the most efficient way to get onboarded and get onto web and get into Web3.
I think we're gonna have a problem with Bitcoin for a few years because you have people that have the mindset of, you know what, this asset is supposed to hit 200,000, 300,000. Why am I spending it? I'm going to just continue to collect it. I'm going to collect as much as I can, so I have enough to where the when the time comes, I can cash out. And that's the biggest problem that we have right now. I really truly believe that, especially with the narrative of store of value. Everybody, for the most part, if you go on social media, it's a store of value. It's a store of value, so people are storing it and they're not using it. And you know, for you can say whatever you want about the U.S. dollar, but more people are using the U.S. dollar than they are Bitcoin. So I mean, we're a model. We're years away before people start actually taking it to the store, to your local CVS or Costco, and actually buying stuff with Bitcoin. That time will come as long as everything goes well with Bitcoin, and we keep building and we're focused. I believe that time will come, but we're still only at what are we, 5% in, 6% in on it, maybe even lower than that. We need to get to at least 50% before you'll see actual transactions being taken place.
That being said, though, again, I don't know that that Bitcoin ATMs are the best vehicle to get people onboarded and get people invested in the cryptocurrency. The challenge for them is, number one, they're in a highly visible areas, and number two, they charge a very high premium compared to a MoonPay or another centralized exchange to get started with it. So, on one hand, it's a great idea. I love the idea of creating visibility for it. But that being said, consumer education is critical. And now more than ever, as we continue to build, as we really are just kind of coming out of the bottom of the Gartner hype cycle, we now really need to drive home that education and start having each one reach one, instead of Bitcoin maxis becoming the gatekeepers for the platform.
I hate gatekeepers. And second, with the ATM machines, again, in 10 years, could people go ahead and use it? Yeah. But will we even have ATM machines in 10 years or in 5 years? Like, my whole thing is it's a good marketing ploy. And I'm sure people have gone to these Bitcoin ATM machines and try to pull out fiat because they're confused about, well, I thought this was an ATM machine. Uh, the the education needs to get better before we can become more advanced with these Bitcoin ATM machines and with Bitcoin in general. So, is it a good thing for display reasons? Yes. Are they going to be used? No. Could the money be better served on providing deeper education? Absolutely. Catch 22 is
David,
it's like a billboard. Do you need billboards anymore, Joe?
I still read billboards.
You do? Then you're
I am one of the rare ones who will read billboards out loud just to have something to do to keep my mind occupied while I drive.
most people that buy billboards, most companies that get a billboard if you're driving on the freeway and you see this billboard, you're not going to buy it today, but you will remember it in 6 months. And the Bitcoin ATM machines, I view them the same way. They're just the billboards sitting inside a convenience store, and somebody sees it, and one day they'll go, ah, that Bitcoin thing. I remember seeing the Bitcoin ATM.
I thought about buying a billboard once.
Yeah,
Yeah, just to advertise that I'm there, that I'm available, that I'm
that's
available for
that, that's
hire.
pretty. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna let you guys in on something. I went on Google, and
Okay.
I went ahead and said my name is David Gokhshtein, and it was when I was young, and Google was accepted my ad. It said David Gokhshtein looking for a job,
Yeah.
uh, and it was just an experiment. And no, it was actually David Gokhshtein looking to get hired by Foursquare. That was it. And I had 3 articles written about me because I went ahead and did something that was really out there, and that's cool. That's actually cool. That's a good idea. Seriously, if you are looking for a job and you don't want to work in Web3, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and post your face up there in a nice suit or whatever. You want to wear a t-shirt, wear a t-shirt, throw yourself up on there and say, hire me, please.
If I do it, I will let you know the results.
I'll hire you.
Well, problem solved. No, never mind. Well, no need to buy the billboard now. David, what are we gonna hear tomorrow on the breakdown?
Tomorrow we will continue the discussion that we were having today, and it was about we had a discussion about Bitcoin toxic maxis. I think we're separating it now: Bitcoiners, Bitcoin maxis, and Bitcoin toxic maxis. We had a bunch of people that came in and from all sides talking about it. We will talk about obviously Tornado Cash in regards to OFAC and all that good stuff, and we also touched upon racism, which I experienced. I experience it a few times a month, but I really did experience it this weekend, and I have tough skin, so it rolls off. It rolls off my shoulders and stuff. But you know what? I don't think you win a conversation by going that route. So I think we can do better. We can really do better as a community. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. But what we can do is leave the conversation as mature adults. But it is what it is. You know what? Shout outs to everybody doing it the right way. How about that?
How about that? Well, you'll hear that all tomorrow morning on the breakdown with David Gokhshtein, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific, on the Gokhshtein Media Twitter Spaces online. That does it for news tonight. I think we're in a good way.
Joe, I always love coming on with you, and you do a phenomenal job. Shout outs to Joe. Give him a follow on Twitter, and I don't know if you have Instagram or whatnot, but I hate using my Instagram. I don't know how to take my pictures. I need somebody to take pictures. Like, I don't know how to do the picture thing.
Yeah, I don't do selfies. I don't do pictures of me. No, I've always been on the other side of the camera.
Are guys allowed to do 1 selfie per year? Is it like
probably?
Yeah, I think that there should be a rule. Just guys are only allowed to do 1 selfie per year.
We'll talk to the experts. We'll get the experts' opinion and see what they say.
Last thing before we go, I want to give a shout out to our entire staff out there at Blockchain Futurist. Right now, today, it's the ETH hackathon.
Yeah,
so shout out to all the guys out there, because that's going to run into the morning hours. And shout outs again to the Gokhshtein media staff, Ross, Akil, we have Carlos, and we have Alexander, who are out there from August 9th to the 10th. Ross will be speaking, moderating the panel and speaking. So it's really cool. It's cool to see how far a little outlet like us has come, and how we've become a dominant force, I would say, in this industry. We are the official media sponsors of the Blockchain Futurist event. So shout outs to the guys, man. Just felt like saying that.
And if you are in Toronto, passes will be available. Are passes available at the door? I believe they'll be available at the door.
Yes, they are available at the door. Gokhshtein 50 gets you 50% off your tickets. So use that code, Gokhshtein 50, or just say it at the door. Say Gokhshtein 50. We heard it on the telecast.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great time. I'm a little sad I'm missing it, but I'm sure they're going to be providing lots of great coverage for us. I believe starting tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow evening. Yeah.
Stay tuned to the Gokhshtein Media main Twitter handle, as we will be providing full coverage of the event. It is a dope event. It is the highest. I think I heard today they have doubled their numbers in attendance. So definitely going to be some really cool highlights that we'll touch on. Again, the staff is out there. They're ready. We're ready. Very excited to go ahead and report on it tomorrow.
Very exciting stuff. Be sure to keep it here for all your coverage of Web3 and the Blockchain Futurist Conference. For David Gokhshtein, I'm Joe Cortez. Thank you so much. This has been the Late Night News with Gokhshtein Media, the people's choice for Web3 news.